Today we got the 58 Dodge Coronet in the shop, and we're going to be working on the brakes. Let's see if we can get some brakes on this thing. You want to see what happens? All right. Yes.
Okay. Show me.
All right, it's Friday, June the 30th. Got the 58 Dodge Coronet in, and I'm gonna do some work with the brakes. Instead of driver assist, it's got driver resist. When I mash the brakes, I want to go straight, and it wants to pull out into oncoming traffic when I'm on the brakes. So I need to get that fixed. When I pulled it in the shop, the front driver's side wheel did lock up, so we got something going on with the front driver's side, and that's why it's pulling in traffic. And the back brakes, I don't even think they're working. I don't think they're on the same program as everything else, but there's a lot of car to start with one wheel. So let's get it jacked up and let's see what's going on. Okay, this is one of the adjusters. Use a 7/16 wrench or socket, and the other one is in the back. Let's say you turn it in the direction that the wheel goes until it locks up. Then you back it off until it's free and you don't hear no drag. So let me try that now. Try adjusting them first. Alright, it's Friday, July the 14th now. And the other day when I had the 58 Dodge in the shop, I did check and no back brakes. Only thing I got is front. So I ordered some wheel cylinders and new rubber hose for the back. I'm gonna get started on that and see if I can get some brakes to the back here. And don't forget, unless somebody changed them, when you go to take the wheel off, the driver's side is backwards lugs. So don't forget that they're backwards. Alright, if you look at your studs real good, you'll see a little L for left-hand threads. So that's one way you can tell before you end up and strip one out. Alright, and take the pin out and take this nut off, and let's see if the drum will come off. Alright, had to run over to Daddy's, picked him up, and got this thing here to pull the hubs off. You bolt it to your studs like your regular wheel, and just take that and tap it, and it should pop right off. Yep, it's coming. It's coming. Alright, let's get it out of the way. Okay, that's what the inside looks like. This, the lining, is just laying down in there. And the other side, I don't know where it went to. It wasn't there. So, yeah, I believe it needs shoes, but everything is froze and stuck. It won't come off. So that might be a problem. Let me spray it down, get it cleaned up, and now I know I gotta order brake shoes. So be back when brake shoes get here. Okay, got the brake shoes off. They said now I got to unhook the brake line, and they said you got to take these plates off to get to the wheel cylinder, because the wheel cylinder is used as a spacer. So let's see what happens. Alright, got the wheel cylinder and all that stuff off, and I put the vacuum gauge where the wheel cylinder was at, where it ties into the wheel cylinder, pumped it up to 15 pounds of vacuum, and it wouldn't go through. So I took the old brake line off, and I couldn't blow through it. So I got the new brake line, and this is the parts number for the new brake line I'm going to try to put on there. 88258. Alright, let's see what works. Well, you do have to take all that plate off, but then the wheel cylinder slides behind it. You put the 2 bolts there, put your ends in there. But yeah, this plate does have to come off, or at least get loose, to get the wheel cylinder out. And the wheel cylinder part number is I can't read it. Can't read that one. Okay, have to get back to you with the wheel cylinder part number. Alright, test number 58. Let's just pick a curvy road and test the brakes on the curvy road. I almost hit a deer back there, so I did stop before impact, so it's working so far. Yeah, let's just pick a curvy road. Test them out. Oh yeah, it brakes good to the left. I did have to change the hoses on the front and adjusted them again, and it's okay now. It's drivable. So I put $20 worth of gas in it, and let's just go for a ride and see what happens. Get some heat in the brakes. That's what it needs. Alright, let's look at the speedometer. I think I got that fixed. At least one thing's working. Okay, we still having trouble with the driver's side front wheel locking up. So I'm gonna jack it up, take the wheel off, take the hub off, inspect the brakes, everything, look at the wheel cylinder, and while I got it off, I'm gonna repack the bearings and put new wheel seals in it and see what's going on. Alright, let us get jacked up and let's get started. Okay, that's what it looks like on the inside. I don't see a wheel cylinder leaking. Everything looks good. There's not a line leaking. But I did see this here on the brake shoe. We got one on the front too. It's a rough spot right there. The rest of it's slick. So I'm gonna try to get that cleaned up. Front side's like that too. So let's try to get that cleaned up, clean everything up, and start packing the bearings. Okay, the passenger side don't look too bad. Looks like everything's good to go. I don't see no wheel cylinders leaking on the passenger side or anything. Not the evidence of dirt daubers that was in there, but got most of that cleaned out, but it don't look bad. Alright, on the driver's side, all this here was coated like with grease, where the seal was leaking and where the brakes was hitting, it was black, like the grease been cooking on there. That's might be the reason why it was locked up. But I'm gonna pull this wheel seal out, clean the bearing, clean all this up, and then I'll put it back together. But on the driver's side, Mark had some replacement studs from the Charger days, that when he had his Charger. So we replaced all the studs on the driver's side front with regular right-hand thread studs. So that'll eliminate the possibility of stripping them out, because now they're right-hand threads just like normal. But let me get this cleaned up. Let me pop the seal out. Use this little seal puller. Get up under there. Pop. There you go. Now get the bearing out, inspect it and clean it, and continue on. Now that everything's clean, I'm gonna pack the bearings. And I bought me one of these things. I wanted to see how it'll work. I've done the driver's side and it worked real good. But this is the inner bearing. And on the driver's side, the inner bearing, it looked good, but the cage was bent a little bit. So I went ahead and put a new one. Went to O'Reilly's and they had, it's a Master Pro bearings, and the inner bearing is a A6. So I'll put that on the driver's side, but the passenger side looked pretty good, so I'm gonna just pack it. So just drop that down in there like so. I just wanted to see what it would work like. Screw that down and then just press. How do y'all pack your bearings? Used to do it all the old school way by hand, but look at there. It's packed pretty good just by pressing that. Now just take the extra, lube around that side, and it'll be ready. But yeah, grease is all in all the way through, so that works pretty good. Now I'm gonna put the seal in there, and the seal is a Master Pro 6840S. Put the seal in here, just drop it in and tap it in. Now to while the wheel's off, I've got some of this Rust-Oleum rust reformer. It instantly converts rust to a protected paintable surface. Instantly. I should have bought a whole case of this stuff. That way it'll be instantly protected. Well, it's off. Let me go ahead and spray it. Well, it turned it black, which is good. It looks better than rusty, so yeah, it's reforming all that metal, making it there again. Show car quality. Alright, I did take it down the road today, well this morning, and drove pretty good ways, and so far the brakes are doing good. It's not pulling, it stops good, so I'm going to drive it a few more days and see what happens. But right now at the moment, the brakes are working good. We'll just see how long it'll take. And thanks for watching.